Last time on CIP.
You can't bring law into chaos.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Like Faye Valentine is our changeling temptress, and then Spike Spiegel walks into the bar.
I can almost see him saying, but I've always liked you.
They get like whatever you just said about women.
I just rolled a 1. Tonight's guest is Scott Hamler of 4Z Marketing Solutions.
What's up, Art?
Intro. What?
Yeah. You were playing the intro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, did you think did the last time on CIP throw you?
Yeah, a little bit. Who is that delicious sounding girl right there talking?
Yes, I always like to throw.
Blood spurting out of her mouth.
I like to tell little stories with my last times. I like to just take little snippets from the previous show and tell little fun things. So anyway,
Yes.
You sound so much like Bob Ross there that it made me happy. I was
Happy little
for a
trees.
moment.
Happy little trees.
Happy little trees.
except I'm like,
I'm gonna throw a little bird over here.
except I'm like the opposite of him with my hair.
Happy little bird.
I like have the
Yes.
opposite hairstyle. Like.
Oh,
But you
yeah,
had-
you
I've seen you back in the day. You had a fro.
Yeah.
Well, the fro has been relocated to your goatee.
Yeah.
So should I be like okay, so they're terrifying little trees.
Yes.
Yes.
You beat me to the punch. That's what I was gonna say.
Awful little
I was gonna say,
accidents.
horrifying little. Yes. I was gonna beat you to the punch.
Okay, that's a new T-shirt. All right, come on.
Bob.
I'm writing that shit down.
Yes, you are. Nate Ross. And speaking of Nate Ross, I don't know the segue. Our guest is also a happy, beautiful little tree himself, Scott Hamler. Buddy, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. It's been a while since I actually saw you.
Blooming over here.
Yeah, you are, man. You are. You actually. The thing is, the best part is, for those who are watching this who can't tell, Scott has no power at his house, but he's so luminescent, so bright, that he's able to brighten up the entire room by himself.
I'm power now. What do you think? Is it a candle?
I love it, man. I love that smile. Also, Scott, this is a fun thing. Scott actually did the original voice for the kind of one of the main characters in my book for the trailer and everything else back in the day. So it's always fun for me to see him. It's like it's kind of like the real life version of my characters. So thanks again for coming on the show, brother. Good to see you.
Yeah, man. That was fun, and this is gonna be fun too. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. We're every now and then we get there. It's
I might go off the rails from here on out. Yeah.
everything else.
You're never on the rails, so you're in the good.
rails. What are rails?
What are rails?
Perfect.
Speaking of rails, worst segue.
Wow.
Well, you're just trying to top yourself with everyone.
I'm trying to bother myself. That sounded
No,
horrible.
he's trying to rail himself. That's what he's
There
doing.
we go. That's even, whoa, okay. That's good night, everybody. Good night, good night. That's a whole new level of. Ari's on fire. And speaking of fire, Ari, Nate, whatever names are. Nate, do you have the trusty die to get me to shut the hell up?
Yes, and I'm going to roll a 1. That means
Thank
Ethan
God.
doesn't get to speak for this. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so we're 1d10 for the first. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna throw that. 3.
Oh, I don't think we've ever done this. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ari or Nate. War. Have you ever done war?
No,
we haven't.
I
We
don't think we've had
haven't.
that, like a straight up war. I don't think we've had that.
What's it good for?
Absolutely
Absolutely
nothing.
nothing.
Except for good stories.
Except for good
Hey.
stories.
Stories.
Yes. I fly off the rails and Ari puts us back on them.
Okay, now I'm gonna throw this in here just because I have to. Because what are rails? So just having that, now I just see a commercial of going like war, and then like what is it good for? And then stories just comes up and like the rainbow and all that stuff. Anyway,
You see a whole bunch of
What do you know
confused soldiers like
about war?
What? Yeah.
exactly. Oh shit. Okay.
I love it.
Okay. So another D10
Oh no.
Yes.
or something. Yes.
I don't know.
2.
Oh, so 2 is a store or a shop.
Oh, okay.
Store or a shop. I don't think we had that one before either, actually. So
I don't
So
think
we're
so.
just picking a store or shop.
Yeah.
So it's a war. It's a war in
It's
a
a war
store.
store.
It sells
store.
wars.
Yeah,
It's a war store.
Hey man, I'm getting some Mother
I love
Courage and Her Children vibes up in this piece. Okay.
Oh yes, perfect.
Yes.
I love it.
Ooh, and 2 for the time, so we're in the present. Ooh.
Yeah, we keep getting present. That's fine though. I mean, that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
You can do a lot with the press.
You can do a lot of presents, especially war in stores now. Oh my God, you can have a Apple versus Android or whatever. So Sarah,
Is it a Costco? Is it?
oh Costco, yeah, you can have definitely have
I've
Costco.
seen some
That
real
is
war
costly.
Costco today.
Yes, too much so. So Sarah, so we're doing the full blown list, right? You said we can do that one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, all right.
I can
You
sort
never
of
know.
come.
So the total number is 289.
289. Let's try this. Let's see
Yeah.
if it does this. I just threw a whole shit ton.
Okay.
I hate bell curves. I hate them with
Yeah, I
all
do
of a
too.
passion. 147.
All of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much damn.
We've done that a
Matt
ton of
hates
times.
us.
I'm throwing that again.
Yeah, we have. It's Mediator. We did that at least twice. I
Okay,
think.
this is a little
Yeah.
better. 129.
We have not done that unless it came up on the other one. King. We have not had a straight up king before.
I have not.
So
My
so
lord.
king. So that's a good one.
Okay.
I'm going to put that lock that one in,
Okay.
and that'll be number
Okay.
2 because Scott's is number 1. So number 2 is king.
I want to keep this just because it is 128.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Did you plan that? You said you actually adjusted the die just right to make it happen.
Hey, the stream the stream that those on the stream have the proof.
They do.
The proof is in the stream.
So the proof is in the stream. This one is designed just for Ari. I don't think we ever had this
Oh?
before either.
Oh.
And this one is Ari's favorite. You can tell because it's all capitalized on this list. Killer. Just straight up killer.
I mean,
Sure.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And she salivates and it cackles maniacally with lightning crashing in the background behind her.
Excuse me.
Sit down, Ari. Sit down. Sit down.
Okay, last
She's
throw.
salivating there.
Oh wait, we don't need to do another throw because we already have the character. I just threw it
She's
for
salivating
fun.
Blair. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. You can throw for more fun. You can. So,
Yeah, I'll just sit there
what
and
we
throw it
have now,
repeatedly.
Mr. Hamler, is the genre we rolled for is war. The setting we got is a store. The time period is a present. Archetype number 1 will be your character, Scott. Archetype number 2 is a king, and archetype number 3 is killer. So, this is the point of the show that pretty much everyone likes the most. It's the point where I stop talking and our guest regales us with their character. So, what you got, Scott?
Oh, just talked about what the character that I gave for the survey. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the character's name is Ark, and she's a young lady, a 17-year-old young lady, and we just discovered she has poos for hair. She is a black girl with brown hair, and she rocks a large sword on her back. Because every cool character has a sword,
Pretty
let's
much.
just be consistent.
Absolutely.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
A must have.
Yeah.
You're not
yeah.
badass if you don't have a sword. That's just science.
Yeah,
Yes.
literal science. So, those I think are all the details that I've given.
Sure. Now, now you mentioned that she carries a sword. Is she like a what is it, Ari? With they're a paladin that does magic. Is it just called a magic paladin? Is that what it is?
A paladin can do magic. I mean, there are a bunch of different. I mean, this is D&D. Like, there's no reason we have to adhere to these archetypes. But yeah, paladin could do magic.
Okay.
Eldritch knight can do magic.
Oh, just knight.
you know.
Yeah, okay.
Stuff.
So,
People can do magic with swords.
Yes, they can. They definitely can. I was thinking about that for Ark. Is she like a profound sword swinger that she doesn't really have to worry about magic, or can she do both, or how does she rock it?
Yeah, she can do it all. Yeah, magic. She's
Love
a
it.
swordswoman. as well. Yeah, can do both at the same time.
Word. Okay, I love it. Okay, the
love
first thought I had. What did you say, Nate?
Oh no, it was me. I just said I
I'm
love
sorry.
her. I would read a million words already of her story.
Right?
right. Yeah. I don't know why I thought Nate talked there, but the first thing that came to my mind out Strife, mainly because I just beat Final Fantasy VII Remake like last night.
Oh, you have to tell me about that
Right.
after this.
Oh, of course. But in that game, obviously, back in the night, I mean, I know Scott and I are the same age, and Scott and Nate, all three of us, pretty much
Don't tell my
all played Final Fantasy VII when it first came out. So it's wait, did you not play? Did you not play Final Fantasy VII at all?
No, just don't tell my age. Like,
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to say was that Scott. When I was playing it, Scott was I was holding Scott in the crib.
you're rocking me to sleep. You're rocking me to sleep.
Yeah, I was rocking him to sleep with his diaper on. But yeah, so that's the first thing I thought of. And I know that Cloud can do. I know for the original concept for that game, he was supposed to be like a magic knight, essentially, where he actually was supposed to do magic and sword swinging very fluidly. And then he was influenced by Berserk some, and they made him more of made him that big old broad steel sword that Guts has. But
Yeah.
we can definitely have Arc. Like you said, she's a badass sword swinger. She can do some magic type of stuff too. And this is set in the present. And the best part is this story is a war. It is a war, and it's set in a store. So there's a few ideas there we can have go around with there.
Yeah, and the backstory in her name, like I like Joan of Arc, so that's where I got Arc from. And wanted a strong female character that my daughter could see herself in.
Right on. Yeah, I love it. Okay, perfect. So Arc, you mentioned Joan of Arc. Does this character have kind of the same conviction, or is she, as far as a mission goes, does she have like a drive like that? Like not necessarily a religious drive, but is there something? Is she on a kind of a holy quest or anything?
Revenge.
Revenge.
Yeah.
Wee.
Love the revenge stories.
Who doesn't? Who on earth doesn't? The best part is too, as our other roles tell, we have a king as one of the other roles, and we have a killer, and then we have Arc. So we could there's a couple of different ways to play this. We can either have it that a killer killed someone in Arc's family or whatnot, and she wants revenge. Arc could be the killer themselves. Arc could be getting revenge on a king for what the king did to their family or to their community, whatever, to her community. So it's a couple different ways you can play it with the Void role.
I think how about the king sent the killer to kill Arc's family?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
love it.
Which also begs the question: why is Arc's family important enough that a king would want them murdered? Would hire an assassin to do that?
If you really want to lean into the Joan of Arc thing, have it be like maybe like I don't know if we want to do a prophecy, but like maybe it's the thing where it's like he knew that Arc would rise up eventually to overthrow his despotic rule, and he's like, no, let's take him out, and she's able to escape, and the family
I think
doesn't.
you and I spent way too much time.
From her bloodline.
I was thinking the exact same thing as Nate, more or less. It wasn't as handsome, but I was thinking the same thing. Where either her village or her community or her people, it was prophesized they were so important, they could do so much. Either they have a history of having this magical abilities or being badass sword slayers, and there was some prophecy saying that they would bring doom upon his house, essentially.
Yeah,
and in
I like
full Oedipal fashion, because he heard this prophecy, he decided to go ahead and destroy this village, and because he did that, it's going to lead to his downfall by
Yes.
So yeah, I'm on board with that. Okay. Now, because Ari loves her some killers, her and Light Yagami have been dating for years. How are you?
That's incorrect.
I'm sorry,
My
she dumped
friend.
him. She dumped him for.
No, he dumped me for L. So like,
Wow.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Wow.
Sucks.
Wow, I'm so sorry. It's not you, it's him.
It is though.
do you have any ideas for because we always do our heroes and our characters, we kind of build that way. Do you have any ideas as off tops for what could be like a fun killer type in this story?
Well, geez, if it's like if the killer was sent to Well, here's a question. Do we want the killer to be sort of present throughout the story as like a secondary antagonist, or do we just want them to be kind of like a one-off battle type thing?
So, you know my answer. I love villains too much to let them be just one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the killer is going to be like our main antagonist. Like the king is obviously like she has to kill him at the end, but the main obstacle for her is this killer.
Yes. Because the way I see it, from what Scott and Nate were just saying, was essentially Palpatine sent Vader to slaughter a whole bunch of younglings.
Mm-hmm.
This youngling saw all their fellow younglings and family get killed off. They obviously, she has beef with Vader still. However, she knows that the high command, the Palpatine, did it. So she wants revenge on both of them. We can't have either one of them get off scot-free. She has to take down both of them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to throw something out of left field here, just to throw the option on the table.
Mm-hmm.
My immediate thought was killer. I don't think this is a spoiler, but do a Bucky situation.
No, it's not. Well, no. These days, that's not a spoiler. Not a spoiler these days.
Yeah, like.
Oh, I mean, I'm caught up.
One arm.
So like have it be where like she runs into a character and befriends this character, and like this character helps her through to get to the king, to take care of the king, and then in the final showdown she finds out that this character actually was actually the tool the king used, but maybe it was unwilling or something like that.
Oh, you got some rest this week. You got plenty of rest. You had a good meal.
That's
you had a good
shit.
meal. That's good shit. That's what are you doing? Why are you better at your job than I am?
That's what a weekend of insomnia and depression will get you. You know.
Jesus Christ, you're a true artist. You're a true artist. I'm sorry for your beauty. But yeah, we got to do that then. Unless Scott
Winter
has
Soldier and Falcon is top of mind. You know.
Yeah.
Still Winter Soldier and Gotham. I love it. That's a perfect idea.
That title's too long. It should be Winter Falcon. That's all I'm going to say about
Winter Falcon. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
They missed the boat on that one. Right.
Yeah.
They missed the wings.
Yeah, Winter Falcon,
WandaVision. Yeah,
There you go.
I agree. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. So the idea is, I guess, then that the king. So we're doing store, and it's modern day, and it's a king. We could have it that this king is essentially, that's this the elephant in the room, is maybe a Mark Zuckerberg type or Elon Musk type. And
oh yes, please can we kill Elon Musk?
That's Act 3. Ari, Act 3.
Oh, okay,
but
the king drives a Tesla.
Yeah.
or he has a Tesla carried by a whole bunch of people all around town. But he's able to use technology basically to brainwash this killer, or something like that. Maybe because if we're going with the idea that this killer
uses social media.
He uses social media to literally brainwash this killer. We're getting real time.
That's sort of like,
yeah.
So I'm getting like, have you seen Ex Machina?
Of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So I'm getting like, oh, I forget his name.
Oscar
the
Isaac?
character that Oscar Isaac plays.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either. Yeah.
But I'm getting that kind of vibe from this character. This kind of like, sort of sinister but sort of amiable type of dude.
Bearded while dancing kind of a guy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, employing sex slave robots as, I mean, sorry, what? No, we don't have to.
I'm sorry, I blacked out when you said sex slave. But that's that's a perfect type. Rails. Where are the rails?
Back on the rails.
But yeah, that definitely makes sense. Having him kind of, that's essentially what a modern day king, so to speak, is like. A cyber king is like that. So that's kind of our trope. We can, not trope, but that's kind of our type we're leaning towards, something like that. So we can have it that king, and I guess the idea, like you said, there's a prophecy of some kind, Nate, where it's determined that Ark's family or people, are we going with family or her people that?
I'm going with family. It's closer.
Yeah, her family. Yeah. Okay.
It's more personal, and if like some of her family was in the employ of the king, maybe that's also extra connection.
Oh, yeah, they worked at the store or this Amazon-esque type of empire, essentially.
Yeah.
Could
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could I throw in a potential push for have it be both? Have it be the family and the town? Like the family is what she cares about, and like the town is just kind of like a secondary thing. And the reason why I say that is because we have it set in the present, and I, like I don't know. Part of me is like, if we're doing a story about the present and war and everything, it's like that's kind of happening a lot now, and it might be something to comment on. Maybe I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
Mm.
No, that's
Okay.
yeah.
So like
like that.
the collateral damage of target. So maybe
That's-
they tried to bury the targeting of the family within the entire attack
Yes.
on the town.
Yeah, like a deliberate Chernobyl type of thing, like bury it all, kind of cover it, massive cover type of situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
pretty
they're
much.
trying to unionize.
all we want is a 15-minute break once a day. Yeah, I agree. It would be funny as if that's kind of essentially what leads to the prophecy. Is Ark's mom comes up to Oscar Isaac like, look, man. All we want to do is just have a couple of benefits, just some health care, not all, just some health care.
Something.
Sure, of course. And he pushes the Mr. Burns button to drop the floor or something.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay healthcare if they're dead. So there you go.
I love it. Yeah, but that's a great idea. That basically it is that they're trying to deliberately kill off this one family that seems to be a problem. They believe it's been prophesized that essentially that someone in this family, don't even know who, but somehow someone in this family will come up against this king. They will develop some kind of technology, or they will be able to do something that will surpass them and make their empire, their Amazon, quote unquote, obsolete. And
What
because
if
of that,
it's,
as opposed.
Oh, I'm sorry, you weren't finished. Go ahead.
No, I was basically done. All I was saying was that it's not even necessarily that this person is prophesied to kill them, but just prophesied to surpass them in business. That's all it takes. But yeah, what are you gonna say, Ari?
I was gonna say, what if, since this is sort of in the present, what if the quote unquote prophecy is more like a statistical evaluation of some kind?
Yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, I like that.
So if
That
they're
makes
coming
sense,
up with this,
yeah,
if they're coming up
algorithm
with
or
this like new
something.
technology, it's like this algorithm is like this
Yeah.
family or this
what
technology
if-
or so will replace you.
Yeah. And what if they discovered something within the company, since they work for it, that could bring the company down, and they can lose all their profits because one of the parents, or they saw somebody with that IP address hacked into something, and they found some dirt about the company, like they used slave labor somewhere, and that would bring the company down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, we can go that well too. Yes. So I was thinking about, there's a couple of different ideas. I like that idea that actually within inner office politics, they actually discovered that there is obviously some skeletons in a closet, and they see that person as a threat, and they want to take them out, eliminate them. We can go that route, actually have it as just that direct, essentially. There's an algorithm pretty much determining that this will ultimately, because of this incident, it's inevitable that this will lead to your downfall unless you literally eliminate them, unless you literally kill them off, unless they are off the board. And he's like, well, we can't just kill the king's like, well, I can't just Oscar Isaac. It's like, well, I can't just kill off, this person, this family, or even, I guess that's the thing too. It's not even a family. I can't just kill off this person. And like, well, how about you actually make it look like with our Amazon-esque power, we can do all kinds of things.
This is reminding me a little bit of like Ready Player One, when he bombs his entire
Stacks.
community, stacks, to just get him,
Yeah, just get him. And he misses, but yeah.
And he misses,
Well, and
he shot his shot, he missed,
well, and another
It
thing.
happens.
Yeah, it's like some people have bad aim some days. I think another piece that I like about this is having it be them going after an entire town. Then we can make the function of the destruction something a little bit more, I don't know, like I'm reluctant to say bombers, but like maybe like a drones, and have the drones, and then the guy that she befriends, or the girl that she befriends, was the pilot of that drone, and that way it makes it us as an audience it separates that character from the slaughter a little bit. So that way, if we want to have a redeem arc with that killer, it's not like, oh well, he went in and slit their throats. Like it was something a little bit more removed. And
if we're not doing full blown brainwashing, where it could be that. Because that's essentially
that's kind of like an Anthony Mackie movie that came out recently, where
on
that's
Netflix.
kind of what happened. The kid was a drone pilot, and he took out some people, but it was indirect, I guess you could say.
Yes. Well, I mean, that's even in real life too. I mean, there are obviously in the military, there are drone people that pilot drones and whatnot for on attacks and do strikes, and I know
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how to break this to you. but that's the thing. If we actually had it where, and we could have it too, where the person who is, if we're going full Oscar Isaac's kind of style technology, even modern day, we could have it that this drone pilot is able to, is wearing some kind of a mask or whatnot, and he's able to pilot these drones like with gloves of some kind out in the field. Essentially, he's able. So we do see him doing this. We don't know what he looks like, more or less. And we see him piloting these drones. Like you guys say, he's able to order essentially a drone strike, a mass drone strike on this town in an attempt to kill off this one woman who more or less found this one incident, this one wrongdoing. And it didn't even have to be brought to the attention of the king. She may have realized, if I bring this up, it'll damn me. So she didn't even do that, but still, it was discovered through the algorithm that this had happened, and there was enough to get them caught.
I think it would. Well, here another way we could take it, throwing it out there, that this person was just like, I don't want to do the just following orders thing directly. Like I don't want to do that too much. This a little played out.
For the killer?
Well, for what?
For the killer?
For the killer, yeah. I think it might be a thing where it's like, was given a job, did the job, went about their business, met this person's like, yeah, my family was killed, blah, 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 go about it. And then near the end, when that person goes to either do another job or does something, finds out that they were the one that destroyed the town. And now they have to, now they're like, okay, I helped this person, and I'm also one of the people that this person wants to kill. And then how do we handle that? I think that might be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting. One thing too, because obviously Scott's character arc has a sword. The first thing I always think of when I think of a sword is it's a very personal type of weapon. Also, it's a weapon of means. Like odds are you don't have access to a big gun if you're carrying a sword. So it could be that after this town is destroyed by this drone strike, this massive drone strike, it's kind of like a dystopian world that's left, essentially. And so because she grew up in that kind of place, she learned how to handle herself with a sword very, very well. And she may develop some magic or whatnot, but basically what is that what seems like magic is just old school technology or whatnot that comes across like magic to certain people, or whatever. But the idea too is that, like you said, Nate, that this person, the audience, of course, audience privilege, they don't need to know who this the killer is. And as our character, we're seeing this from Ark's point of view. As Ark grows up and meets the killer, she doesn't know, of course, that he's a killer. And it may be that he's helping her it may seem like ulterior motives is why he's helping her, or why he knows so much about this store or whatnot. He may seem like a disgruntled employee, and we don't know why he's disgruntled. We don't know why he's doing what he's doing. And then it's and then like you said, when she finds out what they actually did, what he did, I guess the thing is too, is it may be that the killer doesn't even know who she is exactly. The killer might not really know exactly what he did to her in particular.
That was kind of my point.
I mean,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if he just did a job, he'd be like, whatever. Dust hands of this. I'm done.
Yeah.
And wouldn't look into it further.
Right. I like that. Yeah.
And even her story wouldn't necessarily tip him off because he's done so many jobs.
So many. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
didn't know names. They were just
Yeah, and maybe in the back it says maybe it was me, but nah. What are the chances?
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that's the good thing too. I mean, we're getting to Ari. Have you seen Falcon Winter Soldier episode 1 yet?
Yeah, I've seen all of it.
Okay, cool. Because I'm gonna spoil it because I know I don't want to spoil anything. But just there's a conversation that they have with the psychologist in the first episode that Bucky has with his therapist, essentially, and it's very much the idea of how do you reconcile your guilt and grief with being a killer from years past. And I wasn't sure if this killer, our guy here, if he has if he's been dealing with that, if he's trying to reconcile with his guilt, if he feels guilty or whatnot.
It would be interesting if he, at the beginning of the story, he doesn't have any guilt because he doesn't interact with any of his victims, like because there's that removal there. But he meets her, and she makes him realize, oh, there is a real human component. I am hurting people, and this makes me feel guilty.
Interesting. So that turns.
I can totally see a scene like where they're, you know, they connect, they're kind of they're becoming friends, and after a while they do the okay, like she asks him, so what's your story? He basically goes into it, but he's vague enough not to, you know, to make it so she can put two and two together. And then he goes, what about you? And she tells him about the night that it happened. And and then maybe we do flashback scenes or whatever of it. And it's like that's the first realization to him that it's like, oh, I'm
whole moment.
Like I'm a horrible person, you know.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
It's not just a job. I am actually hurting people.
Yeah, exactly.
So up until this point, is he still doing the job as the drone operator, or has he like stopped working for the store?
I think he's still working for them, but then he starts to kind of sabotage his own missions, like screw up basically, and while helping her at the same time as like somewhat of a double agent almost, and it's trying to fly on the radar enough to not to be obvious, but is trying to help her in some kind of ways, using his position.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So one thing that maybe this part made me think about too is our meetup. How do these two meet up? Is it?
I was just thinking about that. Yeah. How do they meet? I'm assuming because if she's looking for the king character, this tech guy, I'm sure he's in a large building, you know, at the headquarters, and she obviously knows where that is. He's a very well-known person, so she probably tries to go in there and try to break in, unsuccessful, but bumps into our killer guy.
I guess the thing is, if she bumped into him, then it'd be she'd know pretty much. It'd be hard for him to not.
Well, she know that he works there, but not what he does.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea I'm getting for the killer character is it's almost like this character is bankrolled as a killer, but his day job is IT. You know, so that way he can fly under the radar and that kind of thing. And then he gets bonuses for finding hackers when in reality the bonuses are for leveling towns, and you know, for tax purposes. But I think it would be interesting to have it be where maybe it's not a physical thing. Maybe she's trying to get in, like maybe she's trying to like overthrow the security or something like that, and he keeps kind of pushing her back, and then finally somehow either he finds her or she finds him in some ways, and something about her endears her to him, where he's basically like, I really should kill you, but I'm more of a drone guy, so I don't really want to do this. So okay, so what? Yeah, like let's figure it out, and then he you know begins his lesson in the horrible company he works for.
we could go that route, and we could. The first thought I had, going old school video game logic, was more or less that our drone pilot, because he is still a tech guy, he was trying to basically, in this wasteland that is Ark's home, her world, he's out there trying to find parts from things because he's done several drone strikes. He may have actually done more than one drone strike on this one place, and he's trying to find a certain piece from his actual previous attack or something. And he's out there trying to look for this part. And while he's out there looking for it, it could be that there's other, you know, nomads or kind of savages out there in this no man's land type of place. And Ark actually helps him. Ark actually kind of saves his life, where the two of them work together to survive. Maybe both, maybe the killer's using some tech he has, and she's using some tech. She's using her sword and everything else. And so the two of them.
Wait. Just real quick clarification question. So how soon after this accident do they meet?
So I was thinking that it happened that Ark, because I wanted to give Ark time to grow up and become good with a sword in a wasteland. So she'd have to be somewhat younger. I don't know definitively like a decade or how long necessarily, but it would have been long enough for her to have trained sufficiently with her sword and gotten good.
I have an idea.
Never mind then.
I have an idea.
So
Let's say, okay, so let's say this guy's been doing these drone strikes and he's, you know, sending them out and doing this stuff, and something happens where in this particular job, or maybe, you know, it's a different job. It doesn't necessarily have to be associated with ARC. It could just be a different job where he used specific types of drones and he had to use them for whatever reason. And in the thing, they got lost. And years go by, he tries to get them at first and then he just can't. And then years go by and then another job comes up where he absolutely needs them. He cannot do the job without them. And his boss is basically like, do it or you're fired. And by fired, I mean bullet in the head. Right. And he goes,
I mean, I'll fire at you. Yeah.
Yes. And he goes, all right, fine. So he goes out and, you know, being a little bit of a tech guy, you know, trying to get out there and do that. And then he runs into ARC and then, you know. Yes.
Yeah, that's like the right thing. That works great. And we could actually have it. He does have tipping. So I guess the thing is too, is we don't have to, we can go either way where we do definitively see from the jump that he works with the main home office of the store, and he does know the big man, and it's established that he's going to get parts for the drone to do another strike. Or it could be that we just, if we're seeing this from the perspective of ARC, she pretty much just sees this random dude out in the wilds with some tech, essentially getting jumped by a whole bunch of guys and saves him. And she doesn't know who he is, and the audience doesn't know who he is either. I think it might be more compelling if the audience doesn't know, because that way, when the reveal happens, the betrayal the ARC feels, so will we, essentially.
Well,
yeah, I agree with you.
I agree. I submit this. Maybe having it be not completely unknown. Maybe have it where there is a scene, like maybe just have like kind of, you know, intermittent establishing scenes with ARC, establishing her, establishing what type of character is, this character, establishing the character, but not going into detail. So like the guy's like, you know, he's sitting there, he gets a file on his desk from his boss, and he looks at it and he goes, yes. I can't do this. I told you my last whatever drones were lost back in, you know, 05. Well, then you need to go get it, you know. We lost.
Hopefully
we're almost back in.
Okay. You got him back though.
Okay, hold on.
Scott, can you hear us, bud? We can hear you, bud.
I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
Yes.
Okay.
Here we go. He's coming.
There we
nice.
go.
That was quick. Okay, that wasn't bad.
Awesome.
Might have been worse. I've had much worse drops than that. Okay.
Awesome.
We haven't got you back. Awesome.
So,
okay, I'm sorry. What are you saying, sir?
So I was just saying, like, he gets the file folder. He's like, I lost those back in 05, and he's like, well, you need to do this job. Well, I can't just job without those without these. Again, just like listing the serial numbers, and then he goes, well, then go get them. And he's just like, damn it.
I like that. Here's the thing. I think we can have our cake and eat it too. Again
with the cake.
Kind of, I need cake, pie, fattening. I need fattening foods, carbs. The thing is if we have it that essentially we don't see the face of the killer, or we have it where he's wearing some kind of he wears like a helmet when he's able to pilot these drones. So if he's wearing the same getup, essentially when he's being spoken to by the king, the audience won't know who he is, essentially. And like you said, we'll go get him. All we have to do is then we can do a cut almost either immediately or whenever we do a cut to this person out in the wilds doing this stuff. People might think it's possibly him, but they don't know. They have no reason to believe it definitively. Right. He looks also, I imagine if he's out there, he knows he would stand out like a green thumb if he's all teched out and everything. So he's meant to look much more like the people out there.
He's dressing like the locals.
Like the locals, yeah. Well, so, yeah.
What's funny is, and this is just me, and I know if y'all don't want to go this direction, I completely understand. But in my mind, being that this is a drone person, you guys are going Vader with him. I'm going, you know, like me. Like, I'm going like fat dude in front of a computer, doesn't know shit about the real world, and that's part of the reason why ARC doesn't like straight up off him right off, because she's just like, Oh, look at he's just so sad.
Here's
know.
the thing, we're both right. You have to understand when he's teched out in his gear, when he's in his gear and his suit, he looks like a badass. However, when he takes it off, he looks like a regular person. He looks like a regular. You wouldn't think anything of him. So that's actually the point. You actually wouldn't. Even the audience watching it wouldn't think anything of it.
I think like part what I'm pitching is actually no outfit, because I don't think this kind of character would have that. Like I don't think he would be. Like,
even when he's drone striking.
Like he's sitting there with his.
But what about just like a helmet?
Souped up helmet or something.
So he can, because that's how he sees.
It's like a VR.
What if it's like
VR, yeah.
Like a welding helmet where it's just a HUD.
Yeah.
So he can flip it up and down so he can direct stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's all.
That makes sense.
It's a simple thing. Yeah. Simple thing. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. Because you're right though, Nathan. If when Ark sees him out in the wilds and he's this doofy looking guy, no offense, but just doofy looking guy, that's
I'm doofy.
Of course,
I know myself.
You're comparing yourself to this guy. If you just look at a regular Joe kind of a guy, then there's no reason for it to suspect him. And like you said, it's no reason for the audience to suspect him either. So it makes perfect sense. I think that was great. And it could be, I guess, to a little bit of clues and some foreshadowing. He does have some nerdy tech that he's able to use, or he seems like he's pretty bizarrely clever. But even that's still not enough for the audience to really know what's going on. And when Ark could say, what are you doing out here? Don't you know where you are? How dangerous the place is? And he's like, I have to be here. I need to get something. Essentially, you could still be that. We could see that it could almost be implied that he has his own mission for doing his own thing. He's also a survivor or whatnot. He's got to do something. There's no reason to assume he's actually there because of the.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we should add in there, like maybe he's told a different story, right? Like he's told that these people are doing bad things.
Yeah.
So that's why he has to do that. But through meeting her first person one-to-one, she's like, actually we were the good guys. We were doing good stuff.
I love it.
And these bad folks, they destroyed, so because he's still like, if he's a drone pilot and he murdered an entire place, and he's aware that he did that, that's still a bad thing, even if he comes back around. But he thinks that he's doing the right thing for for good reason, doing a bad thing for good reasons. But then learns that, oh no, I'm actually working for the bad guys. Because this young lady told him her story. Yeah.
No, I love that. I love that idea, because the whole idea that history is written by the winners. So it's pretty much he's been told, especially that he's been kind of indoctrinated by this massive empire. They've been telling him all these things, and he has no reason to doubt them. And this may be essentially on some level his first time really going out into certain areas. Essentially, he may have been very closeted. So
that's what I'm thinking. Like I'm thinking this dude was like pasty skin, like he was in his office, like that was just his thing. Like he never went, he never left the city. Like he was just being told his entire life he's just being fed. These people are bad. You're doing the right thing, and for him it's practically a video game.
Right. I completely.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like that.
They're not
good commentary. Especially if he's just like a clueless white guy. Like you can do a lot with all the dynamics.
Sure. Yeah. I love it. And then because the whole idea too, as far as the dynamic and the dichotomy, if Ark is a young black girl that's comes from a very different life as opposed to this white guy that's very Texas. It's a very kind of interesting buddy cop situation there too, opposites and doing their own thing, which is good too. So I like that a lot. I like that. I think I'm not sure how much we need to get into as far as how Ark was able to learn how to become a skilled swordswoman. Is it more or less just that her growing up in this environment? Was there someone that gave
survival.
her the sword?
Maybe like her.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, like somebody from her family, a character, father, mother, grandfather, somebody kind of like gives her, there's a little bit of backstory with them. Like they are also, somewhat of a like activist type, so they also have to defend themselves within this world. So she's taught a little bit of that, but then after they get murdered, then she has to come of age and learn how to survive on her own. And through that time, she's learned some different skills like how to really use the sword. Maybe it's a family sword, and also comes upon other wreckage tech that she's able to wield like it magic-esque.
Yeah, that's what I want a lot. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. I'm sort of thinking, I was thinking like along the lines of Mulan and Rey from Star Wars. So it's like a family heirloom, but also like she's forced to survive in the wild with it.
Yeah, so that's a good cross section. Mulan and Rey, Mu-Ray or Raylon. Yeah,
Raylon Musk.
Arc Raylon.
Somebody cut his mic.
but yeah, I like the idea. It's a family heirloom of some kind, and like you said, Scott, she by being out in the wild, it may have been true that her mom was if she worked at this massive Amazon-esque type of place, she told her along the way, when she was younger, she told her different things about how to use certain technologies to do certain things. So in the wreckage, she remembers certain things. She's able to kind of cobble together Iron Man, Tony Stark style, different types of tech, different things to use.
In a cave with a box of scraps.
Oh my God, Jeff Bridges, Obadiah Stane. But yeah, something like that. That'd be a lot of fun, and it'd be fun to see her using her Buster Sword and and Batman gadgets essentially in this dystopian universe. So yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And so I guess the thing is too is that once these two do meet up, part of the journey is her journey is obviously to get revenge on the king, but I think she might be aware that it's too hard for her to infiltrate the Shinra Corporation just walking in the door, and it may be that the way that, I guess, like you said, our killer recognizes he needs help in this world. He can't do it by himself. So he may find a way to coerce, or not coerce, but entice her. Like, I can promise you, I can get you in there if you do A, B, and C or whatnot. Because again, he doesn't know who she is. So he may be like, yeah, I'll help you get there as long as you help me find this one thing or what have you. So essentially they develop some kind of a partnership because he needs to survive and she needs to get into the Shinra building or whatnot.
I had a thought. So I think it obviously being that everybody in this area essentially knows that this company has destroyed them. He knows it would be a bad idea to come waltzing in and being like, "Hey, yeah, where are you from? I'm from this, this company." Because, not going to go well. So he's going to keep it under wraps for a while. And I also thought a little bit of his backstory as well could be that maybe this company is extremely unforgiving. Like you mess up once, you're dead. And him losing these things was a mess up, but he was able to hide it, and he's been able to hide it for this long. And then now that he needs it again, he's basically like, okay, I need to go find those things and then do this job, and then I won't die. So this is really high stakes, and maybe something along the way happens where it's basically going to be like, oh, they're going to find out that I'm dead. So I'm dead. Yeah. I'm dead now. So guess what? Yes. I'm part of this company, and I can help you get in. Keep me alive.
Well, so I think as you brought up before, Nate, the reveal of who he is and who he's working for and everything, we can definitely have it revealed to the audience that he is a killer. He's at least working with the company before Ark knows about it. As far as why he's so motivated to do these things, and pretty much even have it where Oscar Isaac shows up in a hologram saying, have you found it yet? Or if he doesn't know, it doesn't have to be Oscar Isaac, but essentially saying, where are you? I thought you were supposed to do this airdrop. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. I had to go do this type of thing. It's revealed essentially through the interaction that he works for that company. We don't even have to know necessarily that he is the grand killer of killers, but it's revealed that he works for them. So pretty much while Ark is trusting this guy and working with him, it's revealed that she shouldn't be, at least on some level.
Well, but I think that what I'm suggesting is at a certain point, he realizes I'm dead. Like I've screwed up. It has been revealed that I'm dead. So he basically has to go to her and say, okay, look, I work for this company, and like we can reveal it to the audience earlier, but I think he goes to her and he's basically like, I work for this company. I know, please don't kill me. And I can help you get to the main guy, and please get to the main guy so that way I won't die.
Right. Yeah. I like that. I like that his motivation changes. Like now it's for my own self-preservation, I need you to go in there and kill him off. Yeah, I like that. It's pretty much the killer who was hired to kill her family, hiring her to kill his boss.
Oh, I like that.
It's a circle of life, Mufasa. I like it. Or a circle of death. Yeah. Say the same.
There you go.
Genius.
That twin brain. But yeah, I love that. I love that. Okay, cool. Well, that seems
That seems like a good place to
Yeah.
cap it, I think.
I'm excited to continue this.
Yes. All right. Okay, so does anybody have anything they want to cover, talk about, chat about, anything before we wrap this puppy up?
No.
No, that design is amazing. Great job.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And this is the dessert to the banquet we've had. I always love this part. I'm going to, with your permission, Ari, I'd like to go ahead and describe Ark.
Oh yeah.
To the,
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So, Ark looks amazing, looks badass. Her puffs are are on point. Her Buster sword, the handle to her Buster sword is perfect. And she's wearing what looks like, I'm trying to get how to describe the coat. It looks kind of like a coat that Neo wore in Matrix 1.
You're like maybe a duster.
Yeah, it's a duster. It's definitely a duster. It's definitely a duster.
Yeah.
What's funny is even though she is badass and she's from a dystopian, timeline, she still looks somewhat hopeful, youthful. She doesn't look angry and sullen and Mad Max's. She looks still, somewhat happy. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool.
She's going to kick your ass and have fun doing it.
Yes, I'm not gonna watch it.
Revenge can be fun.
Revenge should be fun.
The lesson of the story.
You keep up with my brain. I mean, the exact same thing. I'm titling it Revenge is fun.
Revenge is
Our last
fun.
title, Scott. So when Morgan was on last week, Scott, the title of that piece was called Potato.
Oh God! Why did you bring that up? We vowed never to speak of that again.
Revenge is fun.
Revenge is fun. Alrighty. Well, Scott, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been fantastic, and we hope.
Awesome.
Yeah, and you will you be able to join us next week to finish it up?
I'll be here.
Awesome.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Well, be sure everybody to join us here next week so that way we can finish up the story. Revenge is fun. And be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Be sure to check out our podcast and all those places. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
Once upon a time, our story